Elite Japanese marathon teams almost never let foreigners train with them, especially when the foreigner in question is running around with a camera shouting, "Train harder, not smarter." But somehow, against all odds, this week I got inside access to one of Japan's fastest teams. Bring on some training from hell. So this site can only mean one thing. We're going on the run again. So today I'm heading off on a very exciting little training camp. Going to be joining one of Japan's top marathon teams. I'm packing up all my gear. It's impossible to travel light when you're traveling with some massive recovery boots here. About 50 pairs of trainers, all my running kit. Got to try and squeeze everything in this suitcase. I'm only going for a week, so it's a little mini training camp. So we're going to be heading out of Tokyo. We're not exactly going far. We're heading to the prefecture right next to us over here. So this is Tokyo and we're bopping over here to Chiba, so it's kind of by the seafront here. I think I've only been there once. I guess it's been ticked off on the Racing Across Japan map. Yeah, that's it, the Sakura Marathon. Second place, of course. Yet again, I got beaten in a Japanese race. Surprise, surprise. I can just never take that top spot when it comes to racing, but we're going out there for a training camp now, and that's just what I need in this Tokyo Marathon build up. So let's finish packing, sort all my stuff out, and then hit the roads for a Ran to Japan training camp special. So leaving the carnage of Shinjuku, I headed out to this tourist-free land just across the other side of the harbour. Pulling up in Kimitsu Station, I could tell this was a proper small town vibe. Local geezers only. They must have all been thinking I'd somehow got lost and ended up here by accident. But you know what? I was rating my first impressions. And it's quite a nice little setting we've got here. So we're right by the coast here in Chiba. I guess over that way maybe is Tokyo. Got the little river set up. It's very quiet. So yeah, nice to get out of Tokyo as well. So here we go. This is the crib, the Riverside Inn. Let's take a look. Oh geez. So here we go. This is the main building, the business hotel. And then over there, we've got our little crib. So we're in this almost separate little penthouse. I guess they put us away from all these salary men. It's quite funny. This is kind of a business hotel. So it's all the workers in the area that are working at the different factories and stuff. They're staying over in this big building over here. It's like your classic Japanese kaizen, like office workers or factory workers. And then we've been tucked over here away from the riffraff. And this is classic training camp vibes. No distractions, nothing going on in the area. Just pure dedication to pounding pavements. So this was my room for the week. Bed, chair, mini fridge, job done. Then the essential communal baths. Unfortunately, there's no action footage from here, but I'll tell you what, this aspect of the culture takes a second to get used to as a Westerner. But every sports team is like this in Japan. Just bang, kit off, all the bloody lads, team bonding at its finest, I guess. We've got the ND Soft van here, represent. Boom, that's the companies, that's the guys that sponsor the team. So I think it's a pretty cool setup we've got here, but apparently the reason they choose it is because it's the absolute cheapest place in Japan. So a lot of the other teams have way more money, like they're big companies, you know, Suzuki, Honda. They've got a ton more cash, so they can go on these fancy trips away. But the boys are saying that ND Soft are the biggest cheapskates in the running game. They maximize the cost performance. So this crib right here, it's for 2 meals a day included in the dining room over there. I'll show some of the meals later, but including that and then obviously a bed and stuff as well, it costs 6,600 yen a night. So that would be about 30 quid a night. Unbelievable bargain right there. And from here you've got a ton of different running options. Like we've got this park just here, we can run straight from the hotel. We can drive maybe 5-10k to the Session Loop. You've got some beautiful little river courses, the palm trees. It's a proper summer holiday vibe here. So yeah, I'm rating it. So let's head over to Sesh numero uno on camp. And there was definitely no easing into things on this first day. Now I was a little worried going into this as I was unsure if my back could even hold up, as I've barely been able to run more than 20k in one go all month. So this will be a bit of a test if I can get through this one. I've got this belt on at the moment. So it's kind of wrapped around. It's meant to be helping my back and I think it is making a bit of a difference. It's not quite as stiff as it was maybe a few days ago. But it's so nice getting out here, change the scene. I'm loving this. I can imagine it should be a quality little summer holiday destination. Yeah, this is nice. Oh, looks like we've got a little path as well. Wait, this is unreal, hang on. Yeah, and all the kind of areas is like special running courses. They've got everything measured, like the entire way along, look. That's the 42.195 marathon split there. And they've got these little markers the whole way saying like 1k, 5k, 10k, all the way up to marathon. Oh, here's another one, yeah. 20k split. They're so precise that they don't trust the GPS. It's got to be perfectly wheel measured out here in Japan. This is quality, man. Looks like Nagano's got a bit of competition for top training camp location. Yeah, let's do a bit of explore and then get stuck into the first sesh of camp. So how it works here is everyone goes off together as a squad. The pace is 3:10 per K, and then depending on people's fitness or what race distance they're targeting, they'll then run a certain distance in this tempo. So the pack gets whittled down with people dropping out at 10K, 16K, 20K, and finally I hit my limit at 25K, with just one guy remaining, Atsura, who's in some outrageous shape at the moment and has a marathon at the start of Feb, so he managed 30K while making it look like an absolute walk in the park. But this was a very solid marathon session for me, and having a squad to run with was worth at least 5 seconds a K, I reckon. But where this will come in most valuable is with the speed sessions, which the NDSoft coach Watanabe said before was going to be the key to me breaking 2:10. And a couple of days later, we got to put this to the test. It's pretty funny seeing the grimace on my face during this compared to how chilled I look during the tempo run. But here we're doing a pace change run, which is a staple for this team. So they alternate between hard reps and marginally easier floats. And this we had 3 times 3K at 2:55 per K pace, with the recoveries, if you can even call them that, being 1K in 3:20. So I buried myself, and even though I was hanging at halfway, I managed to claw on until just at the end of the final rep, where I slipped back a few seconds. But this was still a quality effort, and I even dropped a sub 30-minute 10K during this session, even with those recoveries. So that was all thanks to the boys pulling me along. 今日の練習みんなどうだった？
Easy.
Easy! やばいやばい。レースみたいな。NT ソフトどんなチームですか？
どんなチーム？
そう。
ダーティージョーク。
ダーティージョークチーム。YouTube で大丈夫？
YouTube？
YouTube？
ポルノハブ。
チーム。いやカットダメ。会場のスタール。僕の YouTube 会場で大丈夫だよ。ダーティージョークおもろいね。
面白いチーム。
そう面白いチーム。いやみんなめっちゃフレンドリー。So the banter was flying and my Japanese abilities were skyrocketing. But now let's talk fueling. What's the rantojapan sitch on camp? So every day, brekkie and dinner are a buffet in the hotel dining hall, and it's classic Japanese style. Endless bowls of rice, then a whole load of small side dishes like meats, pickled veg, eggs, and of course the holy natto beans. It probably looks a little different to what you guys watching are eating in the mornings, but you know what, it hits the spot and it keeps you fueled up for training. But the one thing I was surprised about was the amount of sweet treats they were scranning. That actually gave me a run for my money. And I had this image that these elite teams were on a very strict diet regime, but every day for lunch they'd be hitting up Mackey's, and then after they'd be cleaning up the supermarket chocolate aisles. 何を買った？
たい焼きです。ジャパニーズ風。
ジャパニーズだ。
ジャパニーズ風。
何の味選んだ？
カスタードたい焼き。
カスタードたい焼き。おすすめか？
おすすめおすすめ。
うん、最高だよね。
最高じゃん。
いやみんな買ってください。Oh yes, I cannot recommend this enough. Croissant taiyaki. Add it to your list of must-tries if you visit Japan. The crispy pastry outside and creamy goodness in the middle are an unbeatable combo. So we're halfway through the camp and things are going unreal so far. I chucked a picture up on my Insta of this area and people were so jealous. I guess back home in Europe and stuff, you got the snow, the grey, depressing days. Then here it's unreal. It properly feels like summer. It's obviously a little chilly, but look at these blue skies. Oh, that is clean right there. You can't beat the Japanese winter. The summer, worst place on earth. You never ever want to come here, but luckily they make up for it for the other seasons. Even if summer does last about 6 months, the rest of the year it's absolutely prime. Doesn't get better than this. So this is gonna be the spot for training camps. I'm actually going with 3 back-to-back training camps. They pretty much do a week here and then go back to the company, so back to Yamagata, because they've got to get on with their work, back to the classic office work, because they're kind of semi-pro runners, I guess, in a way. And then they come back here a week later for another training camp. I'm gonna be joining in again for that. And then I think there's a little break and then back in February. So luckily, yeah, I've been able to jump in for all of this. It's gonna be unreal. I think I'm gonna make some huge jumps in fitness. Because even when I spent that 1 week up in Yamagata before training with these boys, I smacked out some of my best sessions sessions ever. So I reckon if we've got a few more of them on the cards, then there's going to be some filthy shape brewing for Tokyo Marathon. This is ideal timing. But like with the Suzuki team, I don't want to go in all guns blazing straight away with the YouTube, you know, just like chucking a camera in people's face. You never quite know how comfy people are going to be, but hopefully I'll film some stuff with the boys and get to know some of them over these next couple of weeks, because they're all very, very friendly. Like I filmed a little bit when I went up there to Yamagata. The main focus was like training. I wanted to set a good impression because I want to come in as a runner first, not as this like random foreigner, just like YouTuber guy who's just exposing the companies. Like got to give them their privacy, but I think everyone seems pretty open and comfortable. So I reckon we can get some good bit of footage and stuff as well. Because I know some of the teams here would be so closed off. Like for starters, a foreigner would never be able to train with them firstly, but then the actual like training sessions and stuff, all of that would be completely secretive. Like there wouldn't be any of this. So let me know in the comments any questions you've got for the guys on the team, and I'll ask them in the next video for a Q&A section. But a massive shout out to the ND Soft coaches, Watanabe-san and Suzuki-san, who you might have seen out on the bike during these sessions, and he was the one getting all these quality videos. So they're supporting the YouTube grind as well. Now let's look at another aspect of training, the so-called group jog.
ついに YouTube
デビューみんな有名人になるこの動画の後 So this run is like a bridge in between hard days, and while most of the easy stuff is free, so distance and pace are completely up to the individual, they do a couple of these jogs as a team each week. And by jog, we're talking 4-minute flat per kilometre or under. So this is that weird grey zone which I usually never run in. I'm either going 4:30 to 5-minute Ks on my easies, or low 3-minute Ks and under during my sessions. So with this kind of 4-minute per K group run, it's not like it's aerobically challenging, and my heart rate is pretty low, like 140 maybe. But it just feels like the mechanical strain is a lot higher and the impact on the body compared to when you're slowly jogging. So even if I'm going on like a 50K long run, I prefer to go faster than this and use it as a hard day to then polarize the training. Like make the easy days very light and then smack the hard ones. But it's interesting seeing how all the teams train out here, and there'll be some elite marathoners in Japan who will never break 5-minute Ks on an easy run, and then others who run exclusively sub 4s. So it all comes down to the training volume, I guess. The more mileage you do, the slower it's got to be. Okay, there we go, a little 20K. Tell you what, my back is so stiff. It's still just anything over maybe 10K starts tightening up. It's not bad, I guess. 4-minute Ks for 20K. A nice little jog, as the boys in Japan will call it. And everyone after 10K kind of split up, did their own thing. So there's a fair bit of flexibility. Like it's not just, oh, the coach says you do this, everyone does that. There's still quite a lot of, yeah, you can decide how far you go on your easy days, how kind of quick you go. Some of the boys picked up the pace, like after 10K. So it's not completely like the image we have of the Japanese style, which is like the coach is up here and then you're kind of down here and it's just following orders, almost like boot camp, like army style. That's what I guess the traditional, like old school maybe Japanese thinking was. And definitely some of the younger guys, like especially the high school teams and like middle school teams, they're the ones where they've got the shaved heads and they're running along chanting away. It's mad, like genuinely like it's army camp. Now let's chat a bit more about the training at the moment. So the great thing about running, it is the most simple sport. You really do get the results out of what you put into the training. And I've been using Kaizen now for over a year to really get an idea of where my fitness is at, depending on what kind of training I've been doing. And especially at the moment when I'm running with this team, I can use it to guide my training load, because not all miles are equal. So depending on the pace and the elevation that you do, it's going to then have a massive impact on the actual training load that you get. And so I can basically use Kaizen to balance that training load equation. Like when I'm with this team, the overall quality is going to be higher. I'm going to be running faster sessions. So it's going to push up the average pace. And actually where we're training right by the seaside, dead flat, no elevation at all. So I've been taking that into account as I'm building the mileage up towards the big London goal. So I pretty much plugged that into Kaizen here, aiming for that 209. But then because I race so much, I'll also be putting those other races in as I'm planning out my training schedule and taking into account the training load impact of one of those like 95% marathon efforts, because I get such a boost in fitness from the actual race itself. And that's how I build my training schedule. It's races first, then I put in the key sessions next, and then finally the easy running around that. And I can figure out how much miles I need to put in here to hit that weekly training load target. So if you want to give Kaizen a go yourself, whatever race you're building towards in the training block, then you can use my code rantojapan for that 2-week free trial. Now let's have a little more of an explore of these ends. What's popping in Chiba? So I'm just on a morning stroll and there's nothing really in the local area, like no konbinis, no shops, nothing. But I've just stumbled across here. So this is a vending machine selling lemons and ice cream by the look of it. Strawberry jam? What's that? Blackberry jam. See, in Japan, I feel like they've got vending machines for anything. You name it, they've got one. There's a pizza one I've seen, a ramen one. This one's got some ice cream. It looks like a little farm shop almost that's put their stuff in a vending machine. Got some random sweet potatoes. You got your ice cream there. You can get your bag of lemons. They've got you covered. Who needs a convenience store? I've got a session in about an hour's time, but after that, I reckon a bit of ice cream could do the trick. So it's a very quiet little seaside area, this. All of the training camp places where people go, I don't know if they choose these on purpose in Japan, but there's always nothing going on. Literally, you just got running and that's it. So during the day, when the boys, they're not running, like they get the morning run done, then they pretty much just sleep, watch Netflix, like they've got no work. Usually they'd be going into the company for a few hours during the day. But during training camp, it's full on pro runner mode. For me, I just find that too boring. So luckily I've got my YouTube and like editing to get on with. But I guess for recovery, it's why they can actually hammer the training on camps because they're doing actually nothing else in between that. So then post-session, I had to come back to try some local scran. So I'm back at the vending machine heaven right here. I've picked the absolute coldest day, but I thought I've got to try it out. Grab a little ice cream, you know, for a cheeky mid-morning snack. I'm weighing up the different options here. This is really putting my Japanese to the test, but it looks like we've got some sort of milk, espresso, banana, lemon, berry. They've got all the different options. Melon, that's always good. But I'm seeing one that's standing out. I always like to go for the weird, unique, different flavors instead of just the standard. So here I'm seeing tomato and basil. That sounds like a mad ice cream flavor. So you know what? We're gonna give that one a go. It might be horrendous. It's also about 0 degrees out here. So probably the last thing you'd want to eat. So let's see if I can work out how to actually do this thing. All right, I've hit number 3. Insert money. Is it cash only? They love it old school here. It looks like cash only. Have I got cash? That is the question. That's where we might have ran into a little issue here. Right, it's a disaster. I've tried putting in, I've got a whole bunch of cash here, some 5,000s, 10,000s. It's rejecting all of them. It looks like they only take 1,000 notes. I cannot believe this. I've come all the way out here. So I've only got notes that are too big or cash that's too small. And it turns out I can't actually buy this. Absolute disaster. The day's ruined. I was thinking that could have been such a good little scran to Japan here. And that is probably the biggest problem with Japan. Half the places, especially the old school places, and I guess the vending machines as well, they don't take card. So you know, like the Western world, obviously we just go contactless everywhere. Like money doesn't even exist, like cash. So it was a rookie error on my part. You've got to carry some of those fresh 1,000 bills wherever you go. So I'd been defeated by this Japanese machine, but could I hold on against another machine out on the roads as I hit the final session of camp with 2:08 marathoner Takeuchi, who I ripped my best ever track session with at the end of last year in Yamagata. So this was a steady tempo today with the first 20k at 3:20 pace, and then a gradual build up over the last 10k down from 3:15 to 3:10 and then finishing up at 3:05, which felt tough, but considering the monster sessions I'd had over the last few days, this was a cracking final shift and the cherry on top of a successful Camp 1 with the Endy Soft boys. And let's catch up with Takeuchi now.
YouTube のため少しインタビューみたいな。前回の YouTube ゴールドコースだよね。はい。このマラソン、竹内さんすごかった。
ありがとう。
自己ベスト。
ありがとう。
今日の練習どうでしたか？
日曜日に大阪ハーフマラソン走るんだけど、マラソン練習のマラソンブロックっていうことで、今日ロングランやって大阪ハーフでしっかりマラソンよりちょっと早いぐらいのペースで。
3分切り
ぐらい走れたらいいかなっていうことでセット練習で。
すごいな。いや今日30キロの後ちょっとダメージじゃないかな。
一昨日も結構いい練習やって、で今日もいい練習できたから。
次のターゲットマラソン東京でしょ。
東京。
楽しみです。
ありがとう。
いや僕も一緒に東京
頑張ろう。
レッツゴー東京の目標
2時間6分。
2時間6分。最高。
頑張ろう。
岸さんのおかげでレベルアップできた。嬉しい。ありがとうございます。
Now this post-training refuel might give any Italians watching a heart attack, so you have been warned. But we hit up the notorious size area, which was a daily staple for all the boys on camp. Now in the last video, I slated the monstrosity of a pizza and pasta which I got served in Tokyo, but the difference here is you're not going expecting real Italian food. This is just dead cheap comfort food, so I'm adding it to my list of certified Japan scran.
サイゼリヤ、もし外国人日本来たらおすすめですか？
おすすめですね。この値段見てください。この
やばいね。
サラダスープ、使ったドリアが
300ぐらい。
300円。
多分海外で2000かな？ピザそう。
400円。
クレイジー。でも美味しいですよね。
味も美味しい。
そうそう。1000円全部。
It's mind-blowingly cheap, so ND Soft really are the kings of cost performance. And now they're heading off to races on the weekend, and I'm briefly back in Tokyo before we reunite again for camp round 2. But what a stint this one was. I can feel that sub 210 marathon brewing.
この合宿どうだった？
お疲れ様。
お疲れ様。
いい練習ができました。
楽しかったね。今大阪ハーフ。
ネクスト大阪行きます。
来週また合宿ね。
まだ
やば危ない
デンジャラス YouTuber
大
阪に行ってきます。
Let's go じゃあね。
And I'll see you lot again back out there, but this has been Jake with Rantojapan. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, train harder, not smarter.